Hello, soul friends. Miriam here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is all about winter coming to an end. Something's coming to an end. Right now it's winter. This is a timeless winter reading. So whenever winter you find it, that is fine. You could also just watch it anytime something has come to an end for you, or seasons are changing, but the cards are all still winter themed. For now, we're about to spring into spring, so I'm going to start switching my cards up again. Not that you've seen much of these because I've been so busy. But check out my reviews because I do have winter deck reviews there as well. So this is what mark have you left on the year? And I know that everybody does like New Year's stuff in January in America. And then I have people in my life who celebrate like Chinese New Year. I have people in my life who celebrate Celtic New Year, which would be around like my birthday, which would be a perfect time for me to celebrate it, right? And I do feel a sort of year-end type situation when that happens, but when I am heading into spring, I feel as though we've survived yet another winter. That's hilarious for me because I also am deathly allergic to everything outside during all the other seasons. So like I'm at just as much risk of dying of some ailment in those seasons as well. But the rest of you normal people who can like do things normally, you made it through winter. Woo! Especially if you're in one of those like mild climated places where it's been like sunny this whole time, not like where I live where people like are literally scared to come where I live because there's big scary mountains around everyone, and that scares people. It doesn't scare me, but it scares other people. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice because they love you, or it is just your subconscious mind helping you figure out life's ponders. And no matter how you look at it, it's healthy and you're in the right place. Let's look at your cards we'll be using. So the piles that you see are composed made up, we'll say, of the Darkwood Tarot and Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Oracle. This is the one of the wintry ones, right? But we're past Imbolc because, you know, whatever. We will also be using, and it's going to look super Christmassy, so don't bite my head off yet. Not Christmassy overtly. The box looks kind of Christmassy because, you know, the hermit looks like, you know, Santa Claus. So, you know, forgive me. But I love this deck. And this seller on Etsy gave us a coupon code, so we might as well use it one more time. I put it in the description box. I don't know how to put the little texty things on there. So just if you liked the tarot that we used for all of the readings today, that is this one. Go ahead and check out the description box. There is a coupon that you can go get this one. I think it's like 40% off. This seller also has other decks that are not holiday themed. And this deck, honestly, like I use it all winter long because, well, it does have some candy canes and some red hats with little fuzzies on them. The rest of it just looks very wintry to me, and so I just use it the whole season. So pshaw. I will be doing one more reading as well using my winter tarot deck that I use as well. I've been using them a lot. You guys haven't seen them as much. Okay, so what mark did you leave on the year? I think of the new year as spring coming in. So shoot me. It's just a naughty little secret that I'm sharing with you. That's what I think about is when spring is coming in, I feel like that's kind of the new year. And that's just a weird little feeling that I get. But I feel like it's because people survived winter and the birds come back, you know, like your little birds that you see every year that you don't see the rest of the winter. If you live in a wintry place like I do, they come back and you're like, oh, you guys are cool. And you just like pretend it's the same birds, this whole time, like they're all the same guys, no matter how many years go by. Okay. So if you like to pick with crystals, we have for pile one, I don't know what it is. It's pretty though. These hearts did not come with, this is Dalmatian Jasper. I know what that is. Or as I would have called it if I would have found one when I was a kid, cookies and cream rock. This is also probably some kind of jasper, but don't quote me on that because I'm no rock hound and these did not come with any labels. So you're just going to have to go by sight and feelings. And we will see what mark you left on the year in your individual readings. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. Hello, pile one. So if you picked this little I don't know what it is stone, let's get into your reading about what mark you left on the year up until now. I know, it's a weird topic. No one's going to watch this. It's not going to show up on anybody's algorithms. That's for facts. Okay, 8 of Cups. Interesting. And then we also have, and this will have a little saying with it and everything, Blackberries, number 8. There's no weaving with existence when you ignore the presence of spirit within self. Interesting. Interesting. So this is what I'm picking up right off the bat for some of you. And I feel like this is going to be an amazing one. So just, my style. We'll laugh along the way. Will we? I don't know. Some of you walked away from something, but it was like an idea or a religion or a group of people that were so tight-knit that it almost felt like a religion. It felt heavy for you. But those of you that have left that type of situation have realized that, like, it doesn't matter what you walked away from because there can't be anything in existence without that feeling that you have. Did you ever read The Road? Those of you who have read The Road. Oh, client, just a minute. Anyway, if you read The Road, they talked about carrying fire inside of them, and it became this big, like, metaphor for the whole, like, story of, like, never giving up on what you believe is good, no matter how bleak everything gets, is basically the fun little message I took from that. You know what I just noticed? You have double 8s, my friend. Excellent. Notice this snake in this one. Snakes are all about transformation, okay? I feel like for some of you, what you left behind or what mark you left was like, you actually like left like a trail of dust. You were like, outie, I'm out of here. And it was like well-deserved on whatever you were like leaving behind, okay? I feel like for some of you, it was like a heavy thing to do. I feel like for a lot of you in that camp that the confrontation itself like made your heart pound in some cases. And that's also like, but you like stilled yourself, and like got ready to like stand up and be like, nope. 8s are all about balance. They're also about fast change and transformation. So I love it. Pay attention to your solar plexus area. That's like right in the top of like your tummy. That's like almost in their heart in this picture. So I wanted to make sure I didn't like think like a few fingers above your belly button. Like where if you were, do you remember the Care Bears? Any of you old timey folk like me remember Care Bears? Remember the Care Bear stare? They would like shoot like powerful things out their tummies. They would generally do this from their little solar plexus area. It was like right in the center of like their abdomen area. Okay, anyway, I digress. Anywho, I feel like this like fast change for you was like something that just was time and it had to happen, and it didn't matter the emotions that were involved. And y'all that are in this camp, you know what I'm talking about. Other things, Spirit, overall, that this pile or this group has experienced, or the mark they left on the Ooh, something else just came in. This is kind of cool, and I'll probably do this for all the piles now. But I'm not going to go redo the intro. It was already mazy and silly enough. Whew. Do you even watch those? I don't even watch them. I totally skip them. Unless I want to know something that I know that person's talking about in the intro, then I'll go back and find it. But I'm a very impatient gal, so like timestamps are appreciated in my world. I just want to get to my answers. So as far as something that just came through for all of you, I feel like in general, like when any of you in this group, any of you, leave a situation or leave something behind, that absence is felt. Like, and you also leave your mark. So like, for those that miss you, it's never the same without you. You're irreplaceable in a lot of cases. So if it's like a breakup, that person's never the same without you. You're irreplaceable. If it's a job, same difference. Even if it's not spoken aloud, or even recognized by all, it's felt by many, and like the gods more than anything have noticed that you left your mark there. And it doesn't matter how small of a thing it is. It could be walking into a store or leaving a place after being there for like 20 something years, or leaving a relationship you're in for 20 something years. Like, you've left your mark, right? It can be something so simple as a chance encounter with you and a whole full-on life with you. When you're gone, your absence is felt. You're remembered. And like, even if you're not consciously like remembered in the way that people would like to be, like, it's felt. The energy of you resonates beyond you leaving that place. Okay. You know what? I want to grab one more of these just because I'm feeling it. I just never know why I feel the way I feel. I just saw triple fours on the camera, so... Ooh, river rocks. Go with the current, dear one. Find peace in letting go. Let life wash over your soul and welcome your becoming. Yes, that also goes along. Let's get in on those images. These cute little like river rocks that she's stacking and like doing like a little ritual under the moon. And this little animal has come to watch, because animals often do that when you practice your magic. Practicing your little magics, you cute little magic practicing kiddos. I don't know where that came from, but there it was. Okay, so overall energy is you leave your mark no matter what. So whatever you've left behind and whatever you're heading towards, because Eight of Cups also always talks about heading towards something, not just something ending and that's it. It's usually moving on to something better, just like Ten of Swords usually indicates as well. That's always something to keep in mind if you're like me and you get all scaredy cat of like the ending cards, because you feel like something's coming to an end. I don't particularly want anything to end right now. Speaking of not wanting it to end, I love this deck of cards that I'm shuffling before you. I love all these winter decks. And yeah, maybe it's because winter's my favorite season in my elderly age. Okay, so you have overall King of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Yeah, this was not a decision that was lightly felt. Like, you had to really, you equally weighed everything before, while you were making your plans of what you were going to do. And you gave as much as you could to what you're leaving behind. And like I said, this could even just be an idea that you're leaving behind. So like, even if you didn't like break up with somebody or yada, yada, yada. I'm going to shut up now. Did you hear that little ding? It was a client messaging, but my toggles are on. So I'm going to pay attention to you guys for a change. And not go running off. Oh, hang on. See what else you left behind, what marks you've left behind. Okay. I love this. Like, in the wake of you leaving, you've actually opened more doors for yourself, I believe, in ways that you have not even realized yet. Some of you stand to make a really good, happy living with the decision you've made. It's just going to take time to materialize, but that's a wonderful energy to get. If this is relationship oriented, think of it as like this is an investment you're making on like a really solid partnership. If some of you are getting out and either entering the dating scene, maybe you've started seeing somebody, or maybe you haven't even met this person yet, and this is just down the road. But like, you'll have so much more to offer a new relationship if this was a relationship that was ending. Same thing with jobs, same things with the world, same things with spiritualism and God and all of that good stuff. Yes. You cannot make this up. She is all about standing on her own. She's known as the Widow Queen. Not a lot of people talk about that because everybody's scared that, probably their clients are going to be like, oh my gosh, my loved one's going to die. Not necessary. Whatever ended has already ended with this card. She's already on her own. Okay. So it's just about standing where you are with what's happened, what you have left, and actually making really, ruling your kingdom well with it. Okay. And then also, your mark that you're leaving behind is that you're able to let go of things that aren't good for you. And part of you leaving behind what you've left behind recently, whether it was a relationship, a job, a situation, an idea, a religion, a blah, 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 a group. I covered everything. A major in college. I always like to remember college scenarios because they're people too. People that go to college. Everybody's like, is she going to college? No, I am not going to college. School is out. Unless there's some kind of poverty-stricken way that puts me there and somebody's like, we have a grant for poverty-stricken ways. Come on in. I'm like, I guess I'll do this so that I can work for the last 10 years of my life. Because I'm old. Ooh, look what else I found. 10 of Cups. You leave a sense of home. And you create a sense of home wherever you go. And I love that about your energy in this pile, is that no matter what ends for you, it doesn't matter because home is where you are, as nerdy as that sounds. It reminds me of like, I'm going to use a personal example, so go ahead and skip it if you don't want to hear about it. Like, as a teacher, like, sometimes it really sucked if you had to move your space, like your classroom, and I had to do it a few times in my career, and it really, it really got my goat each time. Especially one time in particular, okay? Because I just feel like I'm always, like, the kid that's asked to be like, can we go a little bit less for you because you won't throw a fit? And maybe that's not even how it was. But in my sad little brain, that's how I perceived it to be. And so, like, I would totally be all boo-hooey me. I can't believe I have to, like, change my space. And what would get me through it every time was that it didn't matter, like, what room I was in, because that wasn't, like, what was magical about it. What was magical about it were the people that were in the room, which was moi and the awesome kids that would come in every year. And I would get to like have this awesome just experience, and it was always different with each crew, and like every little like group was like a totally different situation, different like soul connections, and it was just this wonderful time. So anyway, my point is that it didn't matter what room we were actually in. What was the home was actually our presence together. And you, all by your little lonesome, create that everywhere you go, my beautiful people in pile 1. So, and that's what you left on this like last, year, and this past season is like, you made winter a warm or warmer time for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of you might have like given. Sorry, I was getting water and like trying to talk at the same time. It did not work out, and I apologize for that. you've given a lot of yourself to like situations, charities possibly, or just given of your time charitably. Like you might be one of those people that just like works and just lives where you work because that's just who you are as a person, and that's a good, thing that you do, even though it might go unappreciated sometimes, or you might actually wonder why you even do it. At the end of the day, it's because of that home that you create when you're there, just by your beautiful, warm presence of being there. Oh, shucky darn. Look how mushy I'm getting for you people in pile one. Ugh, gross. I feel like a schoolgirl. Okay, I'm going to let you go with that. Remember, if you liked this deck, check out the description box. There is a coupon code for the seller that created this deck. They have a lot of other decks, not just like Christmassy winter themed ones. They have lots. So go check that out. I believe it's a 40% off discount for viewers. Take advantage and go get yourself a wonderful set of those. I have a full review of this same deck in my winter deck reviews. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. If this was helpful, give me comments on how. If you would like topics in the future, give me comments on which topics you would like. If you would like a private reading, there are ways to get a hold of me in the description box as well. Thank you for tuning in again. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile two. So if you picked the Dalmatian Jasper, the only stone I understood what it was in our little 18-minute intro there. Oh, why didn't I remember to make fun of myself in all the piles on that one? Okay, so for your overall cards, we have Incense, number 28. Allow the smoke to reveal the truth, clearing the haze while lifting the fog. Interesting. I like to get in the little details on these cards. The flowers, the little headdress things, the little animals that appear, the celestial bodies, all that good stuff. And you have Ace of Wands. Man, very spiritual people in pile two. And honestly, pile one also had some spiritualists in there picking up on their energy. But let's go ahead and focus in on yours. I feel like for some of you, the mark that you left on this, like last year, was honestly like an impression that was kind of made on you of like truth that you maybe didn't realize before. But now you like unmistakably and unflinchingly know what the truth is. And those of you that feel that, you know who you are. The Ace of Wands is always like about this like lit torch of like, I always think of it as like the aha card of like light bulb, like figuring stuff out. The candles around here reflect the imagery that I'm seeing here. The colors are very similar. And then I also like how these like little flowers are kind of blooming behind her. Like everything is just so, if you're watching this during the end of winter, because we're talking about like the mark you left on this season, even though it's a timeless reading. What am I doing? I don't care. Let's just keep going. But I do like that it's kind of simpatico with what I'm feeling right now with this like change in the seasons coming. But I feel like there's like this change in your season coming of like figuring stuff out. And I feel like it's just like for some like wisdom of age, for some of you, it's like wisdom of spirit. For some of you, those two are very closely connected, obvi. For some of you, maybe not so much. But whether you're aware of that or not, that is going on. So keep that in mind if you like to ponder these things. For some of you, I feel like maybe you don't. And that's why I'm kind of stumbling over my words with that disclaimer there. The little cauldron is also calling out to me with little 3 legs on it. And I know it's like an incense burner, but like it looks like a cauldron. So anywho, if you are born around November, end of October, early November. I feel like that is a call out to those of you born during this time. Okay. Summer is also going to be a very significant, interesting time for you guys. Coming out of this winter is a significant time if that's what you're watching this during that time. It feels more significant. For some of you, it's after a winter of some kind of discontent or a winter of not seeing someone or a winter of just not getting to feel as alive. Let's get another one of these for you. Because I sneakily did that for pile one. And thank gosh I only did it for pile one because now I can do it for all of you. I would have felt guilty if I would have done it later on. Devotional. Oh, I like this card. Glow up energy. Self-reflection energy because she's like journaling. Luck and plans going well with that little squirrel in her pocket. Number 19, there's something so intimate when letters reflect the tongue. In times of introspection, when I am at my most vulnerable and revealing all that lives in me. Yeah, and even just writing letters to yourself can be nice, but if you can find a pen pal, like a legit person to write letters with, they're hard to find. We're a dying breed. I like to write letters. But it is hard. It's hard for me to get them done. Even working entirely from home, it's difficult to find the time. Oh, I just thought of a letter I need to write. Okay, some of you might have a letter you need to write to somebody for something. Maybe a letter of recommendation like I do. Oh, I'm going to forget again. Okay, anyway. Going along. Writing down your thoughts and being intimate about yourself and what you are thinking. And just really coming to understand who you are and what makes you tick as a character in this show that we call life. And remember, in this show that we call life, you're the star. It does not matter who else, because who's running this show? You are, okay? Really? You're not? Well, what? Why doesn't it feel like that? Like, don't you feel like you're the one seeing everything? That might have been a weird thing that somebody needed to hear. But if not, you needed to hear it anyway. Okay. Anyway, just really getting to know who you are and like what you like and what you want to do. Even if it's like later in life, what do you want to do? You can always change like what you're doing in certain aspects. Okay. Maybe you can't change like your whole career or like your family or any of that stuff or what's happened, right? But, you know, like what happened this last year or any of that. But it's a new day. Like, I feel like she's almost sort of like re-emerging into like some kind of new life for herself. Like that spring is going to be like in bloom, in at least in her spirit, if it's not actually in this season. Okay, let's get you some of these awesome tarot cards that I'm retiring for this season after this video. I do have other winter cards that I use that we're going to keep because it's still not quite spring yet. Not until a couple of weeks from now. Let's see what we got. Ooh, the Empress. Abundance. I love that with the Ace of Wands because it's all about and the glow up thing. Oh, duh. And spring. Okay. That had so many like connections to everything that I was only getting on one of them and I was excited about that, and then like 8 more like hit me and I was like with the yeah, connected to spring, connected to glowing up, connected to finding something new that you like, even if something hasn't totally ultimately changed. So like if you're not changing career, perhaps you'd like to moonlight in something a little bit. I've had a lot of moonlight questions coming up because there's a lot of opportunities to do weird part-time work online. I like pretty much am doing my entire career just on like 4 or 5 of those. So check it out. Anyway, This one's calling out to me. Yeah, like I feel like you have the opportunity, like part of your mark is like looking back and realizing how far you've come. Like you looking back and realizing the mark you've made. What imprint have you made on your own experience, on your life this like last year? Okay, up until now, whenever you're watching this. I like to think of it as springtime because everything's new in the spring. Even though, as you can hear, my sinus is just getting tighter and tighter as like my allergies kick in harder and harder for the next 9 months or however long it takes. I need to move somewhere where like stuff doesn't bloom. Okay, y'all. I hate to do this to you. Those of you that like long readings are like, yay! But all of those are calling to me. Okay, so let's get into this. Yeah, you're stepping into your power. She's also about like she doesn't just glow up. Like this chick like has been through it and like she just keeps going. It doesn't matter how many loved ones like she puts in the ground, and I'm not even saying that lightly. That's like something that she goes through in this card. Okay, so if you know somebody that's going through that, a lot of times they're going to pull this card. So if you're going through that, that's why you pulled this card. Like lots of try, but she keeps going. Like she keeps doing things as best as she can because what else can you do? Like decorum and integrity and standing up for what you believe in like they become more and more important to her as time goes on. The more she loses, the more she gains in what she has left. Okay. And it's not a sad card. It's about making things work with what you've got. I've also got, dang, the sun. Good. This is all about good times, guys. Like, I feel like definitely by summer, you're going to be feeling like a whole different person from what you've come out of. Okay. The sun is all about abundance again. It's all about the sun. And like, a lot of people, they spend a lot of the dark season feeling pretty dark themselves. Okay. And it's kind of nice to get out of that and get a little shot of serotonin by going out and getting some of that sunshine on you. I don't need it as much, but apparently people need that. Okay. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles is about like after a long wait, like a long wait has taken place. Seven of Swords is about um kind of like it's in this particular case and with the sun being here, like I'm going to throw away any of the negative aspects that come up with either of these cards because that's what that card does in a spread, y'all. This is all about finding your power and overcoming your obstacles and not needing validation from other people, not needing recognition from other people, even to feel okay about what you've accomplished and where you're going in life. And that includes when something ends and you move forward, because I do feel this like ending of things and moving forward with even just the seasons changing and the energy of when, what I was feeling when I decided to do this reading is that it's a good thing. You don't need anyone else but you. You have no intention of like putting anyone but yourself first from now on. And honestly, like even above yourself, you're putting the truth. And because of that, you're going to flourish because that's just kind of what happens when people stand for truth. Okay. The Hermit, yeah. Finding your own way. This is the more Santa-ish looking of these cards. Don't let that deter you from using it all winter long. Because I like it still. The Hermit's all about seclusion, but it's about self-reflection, and it's also about observing outer events that do or do not actually have to involve you. Does that make sense? So some of you, as you're moving forward, and part of what you're kind of leaving behind is this need to please others. Okay. I also see that part of the mark that you leave behind is one of wisdom. And that's kind of like how it's going to be for you from now on. If that's not how it's always been, get used to that legacy, because that's what you have left behind for this year in whatever capacity you were affecting the world. I know, I'm getting more. I just need like one or two more. But you're also just showing like this, strength, this like self-sufficiency. Yes. Seven of Wands. Very similar to this. Like, I don't always associate these cards with each other, but they're just very, very similar in their feeling. And it's just this like unflinching of looking forward. It doesn't matter who goes along with you. Like, this realization of the truth has been prominent throughout this. And like, because you know the truth, that will set you free no matter how dark things become. And I'm not saying that they're going to become dark. I'm just saying that for cynical cookies like me who want to, wax dark and, focus in and allow the dark things to be acknowledged, because, they do happen. I get it. But even with that, I see you overcoming and unflinchingly like facing down all of these challenges. And because of that energy throughout this pile, I should say, you're going to have immense success overall, because you just don't stop. And the more you don't stop, the more success you will have. Okay. That is all I have. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked this, give me comments on how it resonated for you. If you would like to give me some topic ideas, give me those in the comment section as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. Wonderful to see you all. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, and if you liked this deck, check out their shop. There is a coupon code in the description box for this seller, not just that deck, but for that seller's entire shop on Etsy. So their information will be listed in the description box if you were down with this deck, because I know I am. I'm going to miss it until next winter. Okay. Oh, and there are reviews for all of these winter decks in my winter deck collection review. It's in the playlist. Okay. Bye-bye-bye-bye. Pile 3. So, if you picked this, I don't know what it is, stone. It sure is pretty. Reminds me of like a really old map with like old writing on it. Anyway. We're in another room up there, but we just made it. Okay, so your mark that you left on the last season, or this last big life event, or whatever you want to call it, or it could just be how you leave your mark in general. It could be something that marked you. We've been getting all kinds of crazy because, that's what happens when you pick a weird random topic like that. Here we go. I said that because none of my viewers suggested that topic. I would never criticize you guys for having a terrible topic. I hope you realize that. I hope that's not why you guys aren't leaving topics. Give me topics. Okay. This is interesting. It kind of reminds me of those Japanese horror movies where the hair comes out and gets you. Ooh, thunder. Ooh. I can't see what that says. Okay. If you could read those, let me know what they were in the comments. We have weather divination, number 42. I trust in what I feel, for what I feel are signs to pay mind to. Some of you, we need some storm chaser vibes. Don't go chasing storms if you're not a professional now just because I said that, okay? Leave that to the professionals. If you want to be a storm chaser, I'm not saying don't follow your dreams. Research and be safe always first. That being said, be careful. Okay. Can you see me? I'm up here in this glossy cards reflection. So I feel like for some of you, like the mark that you're leaving is that you are quite intuitive. There's no hiding it for a lot of you in this pile. You guys are what I would call like very, very spiritually gifted, rare people that it's just, we see that there's something going on with this person, correct? And the same thing with this bird, and the same thing with this weird little like fox energy coming out of her head, out of her hair, standing on a big crackling like lake of ice that feels like it's gonna break, and weird words like thunder and other words that I can't read. Fool. And I have no idea what that other one was. Okay, anyway. I don't want to make you sick. For your tarot card, you got 5 of Pentacles. That shows the fear of being... Oh, okay. Hang on. The fear of being left alone or out in the cold. Are some of you feeling ostracized? Ostracized means feeling left out or even pushed out by your group or your people. It could be that you don't ever feel like you've ever fit in with any particular group of people, and that's made you feel a little bit ostracized from your family, your closest friends, maybe even your very own partner or partners if you have more than one. Like, why'd she say that? Well, maybe somebody's watching that does. I like to give you an extra because I gave the other piles extras. Interesting. I don't recall animals being a part of this deck, but I'm excited that they are. So we have a horned owl. You don't often see one of those in a deck either. Specifically a horned one, you know what I'm saying? We have number 26, become the shadow that watches, keeping quiet while moving intentionally. Interesting. So here's the thing, guys. And this is something to consider. And like, I'm going to be like, hopefully the tarot will have like answers for us because I'm in the same boat. I'm going to empathize with this pile and say that I feel like that kind of person as well, like very cut off from society. Like I am literally cut off from society. Like quite literally. That's where my life circumstances have gotten me. And like, it was, and the circumstances are weird. I just ended up like being allergic to everything. So I can't go anywhere. Like in a nutshell, that's the problem. And nobody can figure out how to fix it. So like, I totally understand. Like, but even before that all happened to me, I still didn't ever feel like I quite fit into any niche. Did I get along with a lot of groups? I did actually. Like I didn't do too bad. Was I like the most popular person? No. Like there was definitely always a niche of people that were like, she's a freak and we hate her. We would light her on fire if we could. And who knows, maybe there's still a niche of you out there now, just stoking those fires, just waiting for your chance. But that all being said, come for me. I also feel that because you are this unique soul, and yes, it does, I'm not saying that there's no one there for you. Ooh. I'm not saying that at all. That's about fearing that there isn't, okay? But yes, there might be some truth to the fact that no one can really truly understand anyone else completely, least of all you. And I'm saying that as a fellow you. I'm like you. I feel that. So like I'm just saying that like about myself, okay? You don't have to wear that if you don't want to. But myself personally, I have that fear, but it isn't because there aren't things available to me. It's just because like I'm all sad about it, okay? And feeling pity for myself, which I have good reason to feel. And I'm not saying that any of you don't have good reason to feel sorry about what's happened to you. But there's a point where we all have to move on. You know what I mean? And with this card, I feel like that's kind of going along the idea of like, you have a unique perspective and you have the ability to nurture yourself better than most anyway, is the main message I'm seeing with this card. And like, yeah, become the shadow that watches, keeping quiet while moving intentionally. It's like, be your own guardian, be your own, because you have what it takes to do this on your own. Luckily, you don't have to do anything 100% on your own. And I feel that all of you have like an option in your favor of like help that's available. Okay. So always like reach out in the comments. If I can't help you, somebody else might see it and be able to give you a suggestion. Okay. There's also just all kinds of different places you can reach out and be like, help me. I'm feeling like this and no one can help me. Okay. Because I know what that feels like when you literally feel like there is no one there to help you. Okay. The message in this card as well is that there is help. They're just not seeing it yet. Okay. This card is not about doom, it's about hope. And it's about letting go of fear. And I am not judging anyone. I need this lesson just as much. I feel like this is a reading for myself. It's ridiculous. Let's get into this tasty deck of cards right here. There is a coupon code for this deck, as well as anything else on their website, their Etsy site. And so check out the description box for that coupon code and their link to their Etsy page. Let's go slow. Deal with it, Rushy Rushertons, whomever you might be. Okay, yes, something is ending. It could be this feeling of isolation. Okay, I am definitely feeling that for some of you. For others, it could just be acceptance of like who you are and what you have to offer, and just being okay with the fact that like your circle is going to be small. And like, you know, anytime you have that like realization come over you, really get real with yourself about how bad you need people around all the time and what you need them for. Because honestly, like even people who have large groups of people around them all the time can honestly tell you at the end of the day that it may be, you know, a fraction of them actually offered much to them in the course of their life over time. You know what I mean? And I'm not downplaying having people around you. I'm just saying, like, you, if you can't have them around for whatever reason, you know, look at the bright side of things if you can and be honest with yourself. Ace of Swords is all about truth. Yeah, being truthful with yourself. Be truthful about your situation. What is available to you? What is not available to you? Okay. As someone that deals with like debilitating like weird health stuff that nobody can understand, I do have to get real with myself and be like, is this just you being negative because it's a weird overwhelming situation? Or, you know, is it real that like, you know, you're going to die out in the streets because you can't make a living or something weird like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that's weird. I'm saying that that's like legitimate fears that I get when I, you know, get into catastrophe mode and I start thinking about the worst that could happen to me because I get into that mode. Okay. And so I'm just relating hard to this pile. So of course I'm going to be a little bit more spunky with how I speak to you because I'm spunky with how I speak to myself. And maybe I should be a little more gentle. I'm working on it. I'll at least try to be more gentle with you. Okay, let's see. We have the Magician. Yes, you have the tools available to you that a lot of people don't. I'm putting this here because, like, I feel that with that magic, like, I'm feeling this magic sage-like energy, Heyoka empath energy. Like, that's like just, you know, empath times 25,000, or like being marked. And we talk about that mark that we leave. I almost feel like some of you, and it's so interesting that every pile got a different kind of mark, like leaving a mark, being marked by something, or in this particular case, um, like not an event that has marked you, but like being born just different. Okay. It's a burden, but it's also a gift if you look at it in the right light. And I am saying that and rolling my eyes at the same time because I have a really hard time like applying that to myself. Yeah, see, there's even opportunity to like make money being a rare cat these days. Like you can get on social media and be like, "What's up, kids?" Are you suffering from this weird stuff that I suffer from? Even if it's just like a spiritual affliction, a lot of other people are out there probably suffering on their own. I feel like not every one person is experiencing everything all by themselves. Like I feel like there are like counterpoints where we can find not every point of relation in one person, but every point of relationship that we need, we can get from different inspiration sources. Phew. I hope that made sense. Yes. And take into account I'm going to cover up that fear card. Take into account the things that you are grateful for still. There are things. Okay, we all get gifts in life. And even what afflicts you is somehow a gift I'm being shown. I want to vomit when I say that because I feel like friggin' Gandalf. It's like, hey, I'm sorry you have to be like the carrier of like the ring of doom that just like infects every other person so fast that like none of us would make it. So, but you can. So have fun letting it poison you slowly while you like, leave your like comfy little hobbit hole and go out and just do all this like uncomfortable out of your comfort zone entirely apocalyptic horse manure of apocalyptic proportions. Did I say apocalypse? Anyway, I feel like that. And I feel like that's not fair. And I get it. It's because I'm dealing with weird stuff. And like, I feel, at times great despair. And I feel like some people in this pile might be able to relate to that in whatever struggle that you're going through. It is very singular and unique. And certainly no one within an arm's length of you for the most part can truly, totally, and completely understand. Like there isn't a second you. Okay. But that's also what's so darn special about you, Cupcake. Ugh, I know. I feel that. Yeah, the Hierophant. Super wise, spiritual, a sage-like person indeed. And sometimes, like, who does that person go to get answers? Besides to God themselves. Well, doesn't that feel a little bit like a one-sided conversation sometimes? I don't know about you, but, I don't hear that loud of an answer every time. But you will have victory over your challenges, my friends. There are counterparts to your needs, okay? There are people out there that can fulfill your needs. It might not all be all set in one person, but it can be set in others, pulling others together to make a whole, okay? I feel like, and like, see how there isn't two, whatever that is, stags, I don't know, pulling this wagon, right? And a lot of times the chariot you see two. I see like just one, just making best with what one can do. All right. Sort of like you've been doing and sort of like you will keep doing. But there are ways that you can get your needs met through many other people. Okay. Like putting more than one thing together to get a whole. Right. Sort of like her sword makes this like regular horsey look like a unicorn. All right. And that the Knight of Swords is all about like reaching out, communicating, taking action through like at least words. Okay. If you're stuck inside like I am, get some online friends. They're out there. They exist. They're fun to talk to. I feel like they're just as meaningful as any other friend. And you don't have to feed them. And if they wear perfume, you don't have to worry about it being perfume that agrees with you or not. And vice versa, I guess. See what I'm saying? So basically what I'm seeing is like, yes, you're sort of marked as different, but it's a beautiful thing and you can find it in other people what you need. You just need to like be a little more creative, and you already were born that way, being more creative and more resourceful and more self-sufficient. So just be self-sufficient in guiding yourself towards your people that you need, okay? And a little bit goes a long way with you, and I think you understand what I mean. While a group of people around you sounds nice, having them around too much can actually be kind of draining. And so it might be actually kind of cool to have very regulated people time for some of you. Okay. And I'm just speaking to those that needed to hear that. And I'm not, yeah, you're not going to have to go out and go to a barn dance and touch people. Not yet. We'll work on that. All right. If this was helpful in any way, I can't imagine why it would be. Go ahead and give me some comments in the comment section. You can also give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can look up ways to do so in the description box. In the description box also, our coupon code for this seller on Etsy, their link to their shop, and all their very diverse, wonderful decks that are available, and a very generous coupon code that is available to my viewers, courtesy of them for featuring. I love this deck. If you want to check out the review, go ahead and do so. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you all, if even in spirit. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.